What's up? I thought I'd do this quick video just to let people know about what's going on over in Georgia because I think it's absolutely linked into what's happening here in Ireland. If you're listening to this video and you happen to be from Georgia, hello, welcome to the channel. And I just want to explain something to you. The EU has been absolutely detrimental and wholly negative for us here in Ireland, and it is going to continue to be so. So much so that there is an upcoming election here in Ireland to vote for EU candidates, and we are talking and very seriously trying to push here in Ireland candidates that are going to get into Europe to get us out of Europe. We do not want politicians that are being very handsomely paid to be sitting over in the EU, just agreeing with them and then coming back to us and forcing stuff upon us. So I'll give you an example. Not too long ago, an MEP that's in the EU, and I cannot believe he actually admitted to this, but he then said that there was, and again, shall we say allegedly, speculatively, when it comes to these things, perhaps. There's an article that's out there anyway, if you're not sure about these things, it's very easy to find the article, that about 70% of the legislation that is passed through Ireland and is forced upon the Irish people, again, that's my own opinion, forced being that word, 70% is dictated by the EU. That's over half. Like, when you think about it like that, that legislation that's being forced upon your nation is coming from somewhere else. It's coming from a foreign entity. Do you think that that sounds like a good idea? I can tell you this, it isn't. It's been wholly negative here in Ireland and completely detrimental, and it's going to continue to be completely detrimental unless we right the wrongs of the past. So I just wanted to explain that to you before we jump into this video. So here I have an article from the Irish Independent that comes from the 13th of May 2024, and it says thousands protest in Georgia against Russia-style law on foreign influence. I just want you to understand this, that this image right here sums up everything you need to know about these utter morons that are protesting this. This guy is wearing a face nappy. Years after the flu has come and gone, the renamed flu by the way. Why is he running around? And it's not the only image of people running around with these face masks on. There's more of them. This sums everything up that you need to know. And what I find to be completely ironic, and it's something that you absolutely see here in Ireland, is these leftists that will fly the national flag and then they will fly the flags of other nations and indeed the European Union. You're going to see it here in this video. So this goofball here absolutely sums up the people that are protesting this, because here's the thing, you have no idea what's about to come along. So the Irish Independent have given us, oh hang on, they actually have paywalled this article. What does paywalling mean? It means that you have to pay them money to see the article. That's unbelievable, that, isn't it? It's almost like some media outlets don't want you to know exactly what's going on, because then you might question what's happening. And it's almost like here in Ireland we've nearly broken the mainstream media. Pretty interesting, that, isn't it? Because they can't compete with YouTube channels like this or social media accounts that are out there that are absolutely whooping them, taking them to task. So here we have RTE News. Now this isn't any better. This is another mainstream media outlet. This mainstream media outlet actually has me blocked now on Twitter. Amazing stuff it is. And a lot of people call this fake news or re-news they do online, so that's pretty interesting when you see that. And here's another image that really sums up what's going on. There's the national flag of Georgia, and there's people, goofballs, waving the EU flag. There's other people running around waving the flag of the blue and yellow country, we shall say, because it's a hot topic. It begins with U and ends with E. Your man Usyk is from that place. Interesting stuff, that, isn't it, really? When you see all of these people all seem to align with the one thing. So anyway, you've got Georgian protests outside Parliament against foreign agent bill. Who's the foreign agent? Who are they talking about there? Around 1,000 protesters are still outside Georgia's parliament after an all-night last stand demonstration against a highly controversial Russian-style foreign influence bill. Okay, so the ex-Soviet Republic has been gripped for weeks by huge protests over the bill, dubbed the Russian law, as it resembles repressive legislation used by the Kremlin. Now, I find that to be absolutely incredible that this mainstream media outlet used the word repressive. They didn't think that when you were locked in your home over the sniffles. They didn't think that when they told you had to stay 6 feet apart. They didn't tell you that when they thought of bringing in the likes of Voldemort passports here in Ireland. They didn't think that at all. They didn't think that was repressive. So just so you know, these are the people you're dealing with. just so you know. And these have the gall, these have the audacity to be calling the Kremlin repressive. Hilarious stuff there. Protesters, largely young people, are furious over the bill. Really? Saying it will sabotage the Caucasus countries' hopes of joining the EU and will end democracy in the country. You have to understand that these are the red flags that you're seeing right here. When they're talking about joining the EU, you are literally going to be told what to do by a foreign entity. That's literally what's going to happen. And will end democracy. I mean, it's amazing to think that they actually have the gall to write that in the same sentence. End democracy, but we want to join the EU. That's anti-democratic though, because they're literally telling you what to do in your country while sitting somewhere else in a foreign land. It's unbelievable, isn't it, when you think about it like that? The ruling Georgian Dream Party, which was forced to drop a similar bill last year after a huge backlash, it's not like these people on the left-hand side to get their own worked up and send them out in a crazed manner, is it? Oh, no, hang on. We've actually been seeing things like that here happen in Ireland when it comes to very contentious things. But what's happening now in Ireland is Irish people have seen through it and they're actually counter-protesting, and now we are the movement at this stage of the game. The law requires NGOs and media receiving more than 20% of their funding from abroad to register as an organisation pursuing the interests of a foreign power. So I'm just going to read that again because this is essentially what these people are upset about. The law requires NGO, so what's an NGO? That's a non-governmental organisation. This is something that the government can say that they have no part in, but funnily enough, it seems there's an awful lot of connections with these NGOs, the people that are in them, the people that run them, and people that happen to be in politics here in Ireland and the media. It's really weird how all of those connections are there and they all follow each other on social media. That's very strange. They never seem to go against what the government want. They seem to always be in agreement with that. They also seem to always be in agreement with things that are wholly negative for the sovereignty of your country. Weird that, isn't it? So I'll say it again. The law requires NGOs and media receiving more than 20% of their funding. Now, I actually think even 20%, I actually think that these countries need to be banning NGOs, let alone be taking them to task over 20%. 20% is still a hefty number of their funding from abroad to register as an organisation pursuing the interests of a foreign power. Is that not exactly what they are doing though? So, interesting to me to think that they have the call to call. It's insane to think that they are calling Russia repressive when these are the things that these people are standing for. And this is what you have here is a captivated audience of buffoons, morons, people that don't understand what's going to happen. Listen till I tell you this. I am essentially a time traveller right now, a man from the future telling you that what has happened to Ireland has been wholly negative. We have an immigration crisis here in Ireland that has linked itself into every other crisis that we have. Housing crisis, health crisis, and then you also then have the crime rates that have skyrocketed here in this country. Things are way out of hand here now in Ireland. That is the future that Georgia is looking for if they do decide to join the EU. Just so you know, you are going to have an entity, I should say, in a different land telling you what to do, to put up and to shut up. Because these people do not want to answer any questions. They will not be held accountable whatsoever. And they are hoping, people that are in these positions, by the way, are hoping that you are never, ever, ever going to push back against them. And that is what happened to Ireland and what is currently happening. And we are going to be in a very big struggle to get ourselves out of the EU in the very near future. So listen to me when I tell you this. It's a bad idea to join it. Start talking to people. Don't just sit back and say nothing if you're in Georgia. Start talking to people and tell them that this is ridiculous. It's a bad idea. Point to us, point to Ireland and say, look what they're doing over there. Look at the problems that they're having. Do you want more of the same of this here? If you are dealing with someone, by the way, and here's a little bit of healthy advice. If you're dealing with someone that thinks that that's a good idea, that the open border policies and being told what to do by a foreign entity is a good thing, you're dealing with a full-on idiot. And you should cease your conversation with them immediately and find the nearest normie that is willing to listen to what you're saying and to be reasonable. So, let me know what you think in the comments down below about what is happening here. Let me know what you think about what's happening here in Ireland. And to be quite honest with you, NGOs are wholly negative in my humble opinion, and they're something that needs to be stopped and must be stopped. And you're seeing the president of Argentina that has begun that process of stopping them and starting to rein them in, which is phenomenal to see, because these people have been given way too much leash for way too long, and they need to be reined in. They need to go. They need to go. And when I say that, they need to be defunded, and they also then need to be banned, in my humble opinion. Let me know what you think down below. What do you think of the EU? Let me know that down below. Are you from Georgia yourself and you happen to see this video? Thanks very much. Make sure you drop a little comment down below and let me know what you're thinking about this situation, because I'd like to know what Georgian people, actual Georgian people, by the way, are thinking. Because here's the thing: when you're seeing these images, by the way, of people lying in the streets, don't be fooled, don't be codded, because that's what's happened here in Ireland for quite some time. My humble opinion is this: is that you've seen some useful idiots, some pawns, and some bad actors that have been ferried in and around from different places, because that has happened here in Ireland. They have brought these people in from different countries